The ecological environment containing two different species is modeled by this function. Wow, that's a lot of stuff there. Where N1 and N2 are the numbers of each type of species found in the sample. So some sample is N1 plus N2. Find the measure of diversity for the environments that have 25 and 50 species in the samples. So N1, we're going to say, is 25, and N2, we will say, is 50. So our value for the diversity would be negative of 25 over, and by the way, if that, we need to find out if N1 is 25 and N2 is 50, that means the sum is 70. So S equals 70. We'd have 25, I can't do math, 75. I need y'all here in class to correct me. That's 75, and that is 75. All right, now log base 2 of, again, the same values, 25 over 75. That's the logarithm. And then we're going to add that to 50 over 75 times log base 2 of 50 over 75. All right, now there's going to be our equation. Let's simplify this real quick. We'd have the diversity equaling negative. That's 1/3 here. Think of quarters. That's 75 cents. That's 25 cents. There's takes 3/4 to go in, so it's 1/3 log 2 of 1/3 plus, this is now 2/3 log of 2/3, just like that. Now, this is a base 2. Since these are common bases and they're adding, I could multiply these values together, but I would have to have them as powers first. I don't want to mess with that. I'm just going to type that in and see what we come up with here on the calculator. So when I come over here, and I'll clear this out real quick so we can see better. We have the value was negative of a parentheses 1/3 times the logarithm of base 2 to the 1/3 and then we add 2/3 times the log base 2 of 2/3. And that's my diversity there. So we can come back over. And we now have our diversity. I'm just going to put it down here. I'll shrink it real quick. Okay. Now let's go to part B. Now that we found what our diversity is, let's go to part B. So it's the same question. It says find the measure of diversity for the environments that find 10 and 60 species in the sample. So all we've done now is switched N1 and N2. And notice if we do that, then the sum will also change. So if we have 10 plus 60, we now do actually have 70 for my sample. So my sample now equals 70. This time I'm just going to go to the calculator, and I'm going to change it from here. So the first one is 10, so we'd have 10 over 70, which 10 over 70 is the same thing as 1 over 7. I think 10 over 70 is 1 over 7. And then you would have 60 over 70, which is the same thing as 6 over 7. And 6 over 7. This time, you'll see the diversity is much smaller. This value is much smaller. It's about 59.2%, if we change it to a percent. So if this measure was, if that's the way we wanted to find it as a percentage, we would say it's much less diverse. So you could say, I'll just do it, 59.2% diverse, whereas this one, we would say the diversity is equal to 91.8% diverse. All right, so that's the kind of the difference there when we look at those two. Now here's one for you to try. See what you can come up with for your answer here.